Before I continue on with part 2 of this, notice on the right side of this book, I'm zooming in and see what he says. This is the cipher that he wanted people to solve. Now, the guy who solved the cipher his last name was Warren. And it read in red letters at the top on the right side, "This is the Zodiac speaking. I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal of all to kill." And that sign you see is the Zodiac symbol. And it says in the back, "A sexual sadist. His pleasure was torture and murder. His first victims were a teenage couple stalked and shot dead in a lover's lane. After another slain, he sent his first mocking note to authorities, promising he would kill more. The official tally of his victims was 6. He claimed 37 dead. The real toll may have reached 50. He was never caught." Now, also before I explain the rest, I'm still reading this novel, but just understand I got the gist of what most of these informations is about. The information that's not on the movie, it was a situation of him claiming that he killed like 11 or 12 people at the time. I can't remember the exact number, but it went down into details on who he could have possibly killed in the mist. They say he could have possibly killed a police officer. They say he could have killed a couple of other women that the case was never solved, and things of that nature. So it's a lot of information that's not in the movie that y'all should basically read up on. If y'all remember the movie, do you remember Bill Armstrong, the inspector with Dave Toschi, when he decided to quit? You know, like he quit his job as a detective, and he just told him that he wanted to see his kids grow up and stuff like that. Now, in the book, it says a lot different. They said Armstrong's last straw was when he looked at the dead body. I can't remember who the dead body was, but he looked at the dead body and he said, "You know what? I'm done." He said he quit on the spot. He said, I can't do this anymore." He said it was too much for him to bear. He said he just had enough of being a detective at this point because it seems like the murder cases would never get solved. And to be fair, there wasn't a lot of technology back then, so there wasn't really any type of DNA or any type of way to try to identify cases or the killers and stuff like that. They only had fingerprints and handwriting. So if it didn't match up with the fingerprints and handwriting, then they wouldn't solve the case. I will always say to myself that the Zodiac killer may not ever really get caught. And if he do, if the Zodiac killer is still alive, I highly doubt it. But if he's still alive, he will probably be like in his 80s, maybe 90s. You know what I'm saying? Because it did occur in the late 60s, early to mid, maybe late 70s. And they said the man was approximately 25 years of age to 38, 39 years of age at that time period. So you do the math. But I'm going to say one more thing about this novel that I read. And I don't think this is in the movie. So the Zodiac wrote to the Chronicle, and this is what he said: "I saw and think The Exorcist was the best satirical comedy that I have ever seen. Signed, yours truly." He plunged himself into the billowy wave, and an echo arose from the suicide's grove. Titwillow, Titwillow. I think it's Titwillow. P.S. If I do not see this note in your paper, I will do something nasty which you know I'm capable of doing. And it says me 37, that's claiming that he kills 37 people, and SFPD, which means San Francisco Police Department, to 0. And he has some type of cipher code on there. I'll have the image of that as I was reading it. Now, with him saying me 37, he's claiming to have killed 37 people. All right? Because I remember in his last letter, he said that he was going to make the killings look like an accident, so it wouldn't make it obvious that the person was killed. Now, which is another scary thing, because if you understand coincidental situations, let's just say someone was killed, right? But they got pills in front of them, but they wasn't killed in a nasty, disgusting way. Let's just say they was killed by choking or some type of way that it wasn't obvious that someone was stabbed or shot or whatnot. They'll have pills right beside that person to make it look like they died by overdose. Maybe those situations occur. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So that part always get me with that letter, because the letter was a situation that I really thought about, like he was just teasing them. Or maybe he was saying that 37 was his age. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. But it's really sad though that these victims would never get justice. And I'm saying never, because even if they find out who killed these victims, the Zodiac killer would never get caught. And even if he is caught, he is most likely deceased. With that being said, I would recommend you checking this book out for those that read books like I do, or read novels. This would be a really good start, especially if you're obsessed with murders, serial killers, and stuff like that, because it speaks more in depth about the Zodiac killer instead of the film. Now, even though I think the film that was made in 2007, directed by David Fincher, was a great movie, it still didn't really get down to too many detailed, descriptive information. And I will honestly say, like I said, I'm almost done with reading this book, and I would truly say that this is one of the most obsessive books that I've ever read. Robert Graysmith really broke it down, and I say Zodiac Unmasked would probably break it more into details of who the killer could have been. So I'm going to read that in the near future. And the crazy part about this book is that you're hoping for a happy ending. And like I said, I didn't read the full book yet. I'm almost finished, because I think I'm like about 3/4 done. But I can guarantee there's not a happy ending. You know what I'm saying? You know how one of those heroic stories that you read about the good guy getting beat down and then the good guy came back and win? No, this is not one of these novels. So shout out to Robert Graysmith for coming out with a really great thriller book. And you can tell this man was super obsessed with the Zodiac and the situation that occurs. Like, he was really obsessed with it, you know. And I know he really wanted to get down to brass tacks on who the killer was or is, but it just, sadly, it was never solved. Hopefully, like I said, they'll solve it, I'm sure, in the near future, but I kind of think they're not going to. So, but what's done is done. Much love to the real folks, and I'll be on here back with another review. All right, peace out, guys. Oh, and one more thing, I'm going to try to upload a video about reading books every other week, and also I'm going to start making videos about remembering people who passed away, whether people like them or not. This is just pretty much my take on it. I was thinking about doing these things for a while, and I just haven't really found the time to really do it. All right, but it's going to be more on like unsolved mystery stories, or even people that I thought about in the past and I just never really had a chance to really express myself about it. It'll be on some relationship situations too, where it's not too serious, but it's not on some comedy stuff either. All right, so be on the lookout for those things. Again, I'm out, and until next time, peace.